En la frontera Trump protegiéndonos, Kamala y Joe solo mintiéndonos. Queremos trabajo, futuro y paz, con Trump sabemos que él nos dará más. Con Biden el caos viene sin parar, Kamala no sabe ni de gobernar. Queremos a alguien que pueda luchar, Trump es el líder que va a ganar. Trump, apoyo fuerte, con el firme en la presidencia. Trump siempre fuerte, es duro con su presencia. Latinos unidos en esta elección, quitamos a Biden de esta nación. Con el presidente que nos da acción, Trump es la mejor opción. Kamala y Joe solo Trump es líder con la solución. Kamala y Joe solo dan confusión. Trump es el líder con la solución. Progreso y fuerza en nuestra dirección. Juntos cambiamos esta nación. Kamala y Joe solo Trump es líder con la solución. Trump, apoyo fuerte, con el firme en la presidencia. Trump siempre fuerte, es el futuro con su presencia. Latinos unidos en esta elección.
Esta es una multitud grandiosa. Muchas gracias.
Oh, you know, this was supposed to be a small little stopover. You got 20,000 people here.
Se suponía que este fuera un grupo pequeño, pero tenemos alrededor de 20,000 personas.
No, this is great. We were just going to stop over real quick, a little group of people. This is not a little group of people.
Me dijeron que iba a llegar, iba a hablar rápido, un grupo pequeño de personas, pero no es lo que yo esperaba. Vamos a hacer una predicción. Y esto es lo que va a pasar el martes. Van a haber muchas más personas de las que yo pensaba que habrían. Estoy emocionado a regresar a este estado. Sí, estado maravilloso. Ustedes saben que yo tengo una nieta que se llama Carolina, con muchos y millones de trabajadores patriotas norteamericanos. Ustedes han pasado por muchas cosas, su gobierno no les ha ayudado. Ellos querían gastar su dinero en los migrantes ilegales. Me gustaría comenzar por hacerles una pregunta muy importante. ¿Está mejor ahora que como estaban hace 4 años? No creo. No creo. He venido hoy con un mensaje de esperanza para todos los Estados Unidos. Voy a acabar con la inflación. Voy a acabar con la invasión, masiva invasión de migrantes que están llegando a nuestro país. Y voy a restaurar el sueño americano. Nosotros teníamos la energía para hacerlo 4 años atrás. Todo lo que ella rompió, yo lo voy a arreglar. Nosotros lo vamos a arreglar juntos. Y los Estados Unidos serán más ricos, más seguros, más poderosos de lo que nunca lo han sido. Esta elección es una elección entre si vamos a tener 4 años más de incompetencia. Ellos son los peores. Pero yo no debería decir eso. No, yo no debería decir eso. Queremos ser un país unificado. No queremos decir malas cosas de nadie. Ella dijo, él es Hitler. Ya escucharon cuando ella dijo eso, que estaba hablando de unidad y ella me llamó de Hitler. o vamos a comenzar los 4 mejores años en la historia de nuestro país. Quiero que estén emocionados por el futuro de nuestro país. Y les estoy pidiendo que sueñen en grande y haremos la nueva era dorada en los Estados Unidos. Todo problema que estamos enfrentando puede ser resolvido. Si ganamos en este estado, vamos a ganar la carrera entera. Y ya ganamos 2 veces. Michael hizo un trabajo fantástico. Él hizo tan bien, nosotros hicimos tan bien. Por eso yo le pregunté, Michael, ¿por qué tú no diriges todo? Mi estrella mayor de todos es Lara de tu patio. Una gran pareja, un gran equipo. El martes ustedes tienen que levantarse y decirle, Kamala, no podemos soportarlo más. Tú eres muy incompetente. Kamala, estás despedida. Vete al diablo de aquí. Estás despedida. Vete al diablo de aquí. Vete de aquí. Tenemos que arreglar a nuestro país.
I get all set. I want to watch something, right? Ladies and gentlemen, the vice president, oh good. She comes onto the stage like for 2 minutes. And all she does is talk about me. She never talks about what
cada vez que ella sale a escena, cada vez que ella viene a estos lugares, lo único que hace es hablar de mí. Habla por 2 minutos y luego habla de mí. Ella no les dijo qué es lo que ella iba a hacer. Ella no sabe de nada. Escuchen un minuto. Tenemos los peores números que se han visto. 4 días antes de la votación. Muchas gracias, señor. Muchas gracias, señor.
You would have liked that in one of your races, wouldn't you? But no, to get those numbers, we had the worst numbers.
Tenemos los peores números. Ellos tienen los peores números de siempre.
And I want people to remember it because, you know, a lot of people said, well, this won't affect the election because a lot of people aren't thinking about that. Of course, these people, they'll say, look at all of them. Look at all of the fake news. They say all of that. They always
Estas personas siempre dicen lo mismo. Es increíble. Yo creo que es perfecto. Ayer estuvimos en Milwaukee y horas antes del evento el lugar estaba completamente lleno. Y fue en el estado de Wisconsin.
You know, he endorsed me, and that's a big thing in Wisconsin. He was on the Packers.
En Wisconsin, este jugador tan famoso me apoyó.
He could throw that ball so hard, so fast. Sometimes it would hit the receiver in the face. He couldn't see the ball was coming so fast. It was a lot of embarrassment, you know. It just ripped the ball into their hands. And he was great. I shook his hand. He had the biggest hand I've ever seen. Now I know why.
Este jugador tiene la mejor mano que nunca he visto. Él humilló a todo el mundo en el juego. Y yo lo miré y le dije, esta es la mayor mano que nunca he visto. Y él me dijo, nunca he hecho esto, nunca he dado un discurso, nunca he apoyado a nadie de esta forma, pero yo apoyo al presidente Trump porque queremos que él haga el mismo trabajo que ya hizo. En estos últimos años hemos luchado por recuperar nuestro país. Esta administración corrupta, horrorosa.
Biden said, you stole my presidency and you're no better than I am. No, it's the same thing.
Biden
I think the
decía, yo
numbers
le
were- I
decía a
think,
Biden,
Joe, maybe we're gonna see on Tuesday.
Biden me decía,
I think Joe might
me
have
robaron
been
la
better.
presidencia, me
But
robaron todo lo que
Joe,
tenía.
the reports are, look,
Joe,
he
los
gets me-
reportes son,
we had a debate. He didn't do too well, but
tuvimos un
it's okay
debate,
because, you don't take an election away. He didn't do well, and his numbers went down a little bit. And
sus
you
números
know what
bajaron,
happened? They walked
y
in and
¿saben
they
qué
said,
aconteció?
"You're not running anymore. Get out. You're out of the
Le
race."
dijeron a él,
This is the president of the
estás
United
fuera de la
States that they
carrera.
did
Este
this.
es
It
el
was a
presidente de
coup.
los Estados
I don't like the
Unidos.
word, but it was a coup. But it was sort of worse than a
Yo no,
coup
no
because
me
a coup
gusta la
takes a little
palabra,
more
pero fue
time.
un
This was
golpe.
like Crazy Nancy and some others. They walked in. She's crazy as a
Es una
bedbug.
locura. Ella está tan loca.
And somebody should look at her Visa stock. She sold her position. This is a woman started off with nothing. Now she's worth $200
Y esta es una
million.
mujer que vendió su
Do you think she's been
posición.
honest?
¿Ustedes
No,
creen
she
que
has a
ella
big
ha sido
position
honesta?
in Visa.
Ella
Right? I
tiene
think it's
una
Visa, one of them, whatever.
gran
Who the hell cares?
posición,
But it's
una
Visa.
visa, yo no sé lo que ella
And,
tiene, ni
she
siquiera me
plays the
importa.
market. It's not really
Y
playing
ella
when you have
juega
the
con el
information
mercado.
she's got. So she sold her entire position the
Ella
day
vendió toda su
before it was
posición
announced
el día
that Visa's
antes que
under
fue
massive
anunciado.
investigation. Now, is the fake
Ahora,
news going to do anything about that? I doubt it.
las noticias falsas van a decir algo
Together we
sobre
have
eso. No creo.
overcome every attack, every
Nosotros
abuse,
hemos
and even 2 assassination attempts. I
conquistado
remember them.
cada ataque, cada abuso, incluso
And
2
now-
intentos de asesinato. Yo lo recuerdo bien.
It
Y
all
ahora
comes down to this. Remember,
todo viene
assassination,
hacia eso.
nasty, but
Recuerden,
it really is. I mean, they go after people that are meaningful. They go after people
estas
that are
personas
meaningful. They go after people that
persiguen a las personas que
believe
son
in
llenas de
making other
propósito,
countries pay
que
for
creen.
what they do. We're tired of being ripped off.
Estamos cansados de ser
Consequential, I guess,
saqueados.
is the best word. They seem to go after consequential presidents. And I didn't know it was such a dangerous profession. Being
Yo no sabía que
president
era
is a
una
very dangerous
profesión tan
Who
peligrosa.
would have thought?
Ser presidente
But if
es
you look
una
at race car
profesión muy
drivers,
peligrosa.
oh, I have a lot of race car driver friends. You know, I own a job down the road in a place called Charlotte. Have you ever heard of it?
Han escuchado el
And
nombre
it's
de
been such a
Charlotte.
pleasure, but we have a lot of the race
Es
car
un
drivers
lugar
that are member there.
maravilloso.
It's a great place. Just, I'd like to be
Ha
able to
sido
come here
un lugar
sometime and actually
maravilloso.
play at the course. And the beautiful, I bought a whole big thing there years ago, and it worked out beautiful. It just
Años
worked
atrás,
so beautifully.
cuando yo trabajé
But
en
I
ese
was
lugar tan
talking to
maravilloso,
somebody, and they were talking about
yo
the
estaba hablando con
consequential
alguien
president, and then all the race car drivers. And I
del
said,
tema de
let's see, and I asked somebody,
las
what, and
consecuencias
you
de
gotta
la
be careful when you
presidencia.
talk about this subject. You don't like to say, what's
Y esa
the
persona
level
me
of
decía,
death when you drive a race car driver and you're talking to a race car driver, right?
tienes que
So
tener
give a
mucho
little-
cuidado con la
so it's
forma en
like
la que hablas.
1/10 of 1%. And the bulls are a little bit more, 1/10 of 1%. President, it's a lot. That percentage is like up there high. It's probably the highest thing you can do. Nobody told me this when I was thinking.
Nadie me dijo esto cuando yo me lancé por primera vez a la carrera de la presidencia. Qué peligroso era. Pero yo no me arrepiento porque vamos a recuperar este país. Tenemos la mejor economía en la historia de nuestro país. Teníamos la mejor frontera. Pongan por favor mi tabla favorita de todos los tiempos. Por favor, proyectenla. Esa tabla yo la amo. Estoy mirando.
If I was looking there, I'm gone. If I'm looking there, there was only one place I could be looking, and that's exactly right there. That's the only
El único lugar al que puedo mirar es a mi
if I
derecha,
was looking there, no good. And I
porque
was
cuando me voy moviendo
no
no
good.
se ve bien,
Had to be
no se
here,
ve bien.
because the
Así que tengo que
lunatic
mirar
was
a mi
right there.
derecha.
And I looked over here.
Yo miro a mi
the chart
derecha.
was right here. I looked over. Ping. Can you imagine? I love that chart, Tim. I love that chart.
Amo esa tabla. La amo.
Even if the numbers were bad. If those
Incluso cuando
numbers
los
were
números
terrible.
eran
If I
malos,
was
sí
like
son
in one of the
terribles.
lines to the right. Look, it's like an Elon Musk rocket ship. That's what happened.
Es
So
como
that
el
was my
cohete de Elon
last day
Musk.
in office. That was the
Ese
lowest
fue el último día que
illegal
fui
immigration
presidente.
we've ever had. I had it fixed. It was
La
beautiful.
emigración legal,
And that
el
included trafficking
índice
of
de
women,
migración,
you know, mostly it's
eso
women, by the way,
incluye el tráfico de mujeres.
325,000 children are missing. Can you believe during their administration? You know, nobody talks about it. They should be talking about it.
325,000 niños entraron en los Estados Unidos. Es una tragedia humana. Ustedes pueden tomar ese número y multiplicarlo muchas veces. Y no sabemos qué aconteció con esos niños. Pero miren a la tabla. Mi último día, menor nivel de criminalidad. Mi gente estaba haciendo un trabajo increíble, fantástico. Los agentes fronterizos son fantásticos. Ellos decían, es el mejor presidente en la historia de los Estados Unidos. La razón por la que yo lo dije es que nadie hizo un trabajo fronterizo tan bueno como el que yo hice. ¿Cuántas veces? Cuando ella estaba en cargo de la frontera, yo les pregunté, ¿cuántas veces ella ha aparecido por aquí? Siempre ellos me apoyan, estos oficiales fronterizos. Ellos me apoyan, son personas maravillosas. Es muy fácil para ellos permitir que las personas pasen. Ellos aman a este país. Pero yo dije, ¿cuántas veces? Ellos nunca recibimos una visita de ella nunca fue a la frontera. La inflación es terrible. Y esos son algunos de los números horrorosos que tenemos. Tenemos 12,000 trabajos. 12,000 trabajos es nada. Los peores números que hemos visto. Lo voy a arreglar. Pero cuando ella lo permita, 13,000, más de 13,000 personas criminales están rondando alrededor de nuestro país. ¿Sabe qué dice? Por eso los oficiales nos apoyan, porque nos vamos a librar de ellos. Estamos a 3 días del mayor logro político, pero solo acontecerá si ustedes van y votan. Tienen que ir y votar. Y yo no he sentido ese calor en un gran tiempo. Qué gran sol. Ustedes creen que yo hago 3 o 4 mítines al día, pero es lo que a mí me gusta. ¿Y saben lo que ella hace? Ella hace un meeting y se toma un día libre. Yo no puedo creer que yo todavía mantengo mi voz. Y mis asesores me decían, si pierdes la voz no va a ser bueno. ¿Y saben quién sabe de esto? Yo las llamo las mujeres de Carolina del Norte. ¿Dónde están esas mujeres? Allí están. Pero ¿dónde están las mujeres que yo conozco de Carolina del Norte? Yo no puedo creerlo. ¿Dónde están? Ellas vienen más tarde. Yo nunca he visto eso. Ellos han estado en 259 rallies. No puedo creer que no estén aquí. ¿Dónde están? Allí. ¿Dónde están? Levanten las manos. Se vistieron diferente hoy. Quitaron un poco de ropa. Ellas han estado en 259 rallies. Allí están, ok. Yo estaba preguntándome, ¿dónde diablos estaban?
You're
Es
scattered. I've never seen you
maravilloso
scattered
verlas.
before. I put everything on the line for you, and including my life itself. I mean, in all fairness, I don't
Yo pongo
talk
todo
about it, but I did.
a servicio de mi
And I
país
need
por
you to do one
ustedes,
thing. We don't
incluso
want your money. I
mi
don't want
vida.
any money. I don't want anything. We
Yo
don't
no quiero
want-
dinero.
All we want is one simple thing. Get out on Tuesday and vote.
Y todo lo que queremos es solo algo bien
Because we
simple,
can't
ganar
take
el
a
martes.
chance.
Porque no
Too big
podemos
to rig.
perder la
We gotta make it
oportunidad.
too big to rig. We can't let anything happen. With your help, we're
No
going
podemos
to defeat
permitir que
Kamala
nada
Harris,
suceda.
and
Con
we're
su
gonna
ayuda
make
vamos a
America
derrotar
great
a
again.
Kamala
We're gonna make it
Harris
great.
y vamos a hacer a los
We're gonna
Estados
make
Unidos grandes de
America
nuevo.
great again.
Vamos a hacer que los Estados Unidos sea un país grandioso de nuevo.
Yesterday it was announced that Kamala's economy added only 12,000 jobs. Nobody's ever heard of that. You know, look, you've been doing this, even if you're not into that.
Ayer
world
fue
too much, I
anunciado
am.
que el gobierno
But,
de
you know, you see
Kamala
250
solo ha generado
jobs. We're doing badly,
12,000
just one,
trabajos.
250. It's usually like 200, 250. Sometimes you have 300, 400, 12,000 jobs. I never heard it before. I've never
Yo
heard
nunca
of
había
that number
escuchado este
before. It's
número antes.
automatically, you know, you have automatic growth. One of the
Es
worst
un
jobs
crecimiento
report of all
automático.
time, they say. I mean,
Uno de los peores trabajos
how
de todos los
good
tiempos.
is that if you happen to be running against the people that did that, right? It's only good
Y
for one thing.
Solo
Same
sirve
thing with
para
the
una
border.
cosa.
The
Lo
border
mismo
is
con la frontera.
horrible. It's death, it's destruction, it's the ruination
Y
of
es
our
muerte,
country. It's only good
destrucción.
for one thing. If you happen
Y
to
solo
be
sirve para
running
una
against the
cosa.
idiots that allowed this to happen, open border.
Es que estamos compitiendo contra los
It's the only thing
idiotas
I
que
can think
permitieron
of.
que esto
There's no other
sucediera.
reason. There's
No hay
no
otra
other reason
razón.
it's good.
No hay
We
otra
lost nearly
razón
30,000 private sector jobs. Think of that. And the
por
jobs
la
created
cual
in
hayamos
less than
perdido
a
tantos
month.
trabajos
No,
en el
that's easy.
sector.
You just call up, hire 100,000 people this month. You know, we don't want that. We want
Y es
private
muy
jobs.
fácil
Along
hacerlo.
with nearly
Solo contrata a unos
50,000
cientos de personas.
manufacturing jobs were lost in a single month. I've never heard of these numbers.
Alrededor de 15,000 trabajos de manufactura se perdieron en un mes. Yo nunca había escuchado eso.
Under Kamala's catastrophic agenda, more than
Bajo la agenda
100,000
catastrófica
manufacturing
de
jobs have been wiped out
Kamala,
since just the beginning of the year. It's not, these are numbers that are
en el
crazy.
comienzo del año se han perdido
150,000
miles
Americans
de
joined
trabajos
the
de
unemployment
manufactura.
rolls in October.
El
That's real.
índice
You
de
know?
desempleo está muy
I've
alto
got
en el
you
mes de
speaking, I've
octubre.
got a lot of big shots from North
Tengo
America.
muchas personas
They're looking like, I had nothing to do with it. I have,
que me miran y
Listen, I
dicen,
had
no,
nothing
no
to
tuve
do
nada
with
que ver con eso.
in October, but nearly 250,000 people dropped out
Un
of
cuarto de
the
millón de
labor force. That's
personas
250,000. They dropped out. They gave up. They basically gave up.
se han
looking for a
rendido.
job.
Se han
We
rendido en buscar
cannot
un
take
trabajo.
4 more years of this calamity.
No
We may not be
podemos
able to take a couple of months
aguantar
more,
más
because this is
4 años así.
In fact, now that I see these numbers,
De hecho,
I'm not going to do this. Goodbye, everybody.
ahora
I'm gonna
que
go
veo
to
estos
the beach.
números,
I didn't
voy
know
a
I
decir,
was
me voy a ir a
getting-
la playa. Adiós todo
I
el
didn't
mundo.
know.
Yo no
Joe
sabía que era
Biden
tan malo.
is Herbert Hoover.
Joe
Heard that?
Biden
I always said I'd hate like hell to be Herbert Hoover. I would. That was
es un gran
1929, the
idiota.
Great Depression. These are depression type
Que
numbers.
se parece
100%
al
of
periodo
all
de
net
la Gran
job gains
Depresión
in
en
the past year.
1929.
This is another beauty. Have gone where? You know where? To migrants. 100% of the job openings have gone to migrants, taking jobs
Y
from
un
more
gran
than
por
anybody
ciento
else, and you haven't seen the
de las
numbers.
aperturas de empleo
And I
han
think
ido
these
para los
speakers should
emigrantes.
ask Washington for those numbers because they're really bad. You know where
Estos
they came
números son
from?
bien malos.
African-American jobs. They've
¿Y
taken
de
the
dónde vienen? De los
African-American jobs. Migrants coming in illegally have taken
afroamericanos.
African-American jobs. People
Los
that have done a great job. They've
emigrantes
worked there for 20, 25 years,
han tomado
different
los
places,
trabajos de los
and to a
afroamericanos
lesser extent, Hispanic jobs, but large
y
numbers
y
of
algunos
African-Americans. This is
trabajos
gonna probably be
hispánicos.
announced right after the election. They should be forced to announce it before the election because
Ellos
you won't
deberían
get
decirlo
one
antes de la
African-American
elección.
vote. They're letting these people come in
Ellos están
by the
permitiendo que estas
millions,
personas
and
entren
they're taking
en
jobs
millones
of African
y están
Americans.
tomando los
And
trabajos
you're
de
gonna
los
see it
afroamericanos.
right after the election. They'll announce it.
Después de
And they
la,
did another thing. They
de la
had
elección, ellos lo anunciarán.
818,000 jobs that were fake. They were fake jobs. They were made up.
Y hay
They
un
were
gran
fraud.
número
If
de
I did it,
empleos
they'd
también
throw you
que
into the
fue
penitentiary for 20
falsificado.
years. Crooked Joe Biden. They don't call him Crooked Joe for
Joy torcido.
a reason. I mean, it's a reason they call him that. He's a crooked
Esa es
guy.
la razón
And
que,
she knew
que lo
everything
llaman
about it.
así,
They
es porque es un
created
hombre malvado. Y saben todo
800,
sobre eso.
and you knew this, it came out like 2 weeks ago, a week ago. They created
Hace una semana atrás,
818,000 fake jobs. And on top of it, it was just announced that
ellos
they had to
crearon alrededor
readjust
de
last month
880,000 trabajos
and
falsos.
create another 112,000 fake jobs. So they thought that they'd do the readjustment. Now, there's never been a, usually
Ellos,
it's an
ellos
adjustment
pensaron
about
que harían el
2,000 jobs or
reajuste,
something.
pero nunca es
So this is
posible hacer un
almost a
reajuste de
million
esta
jobs that
magnitud.
these people defrauded you on because they wanted to go into the election with at least a
Ellos
decent
querían
paycheck,
llegar a la
with
elección
inflation,
con
at
un
least a decent
número
paycheck.
decente.
And we had a whistleblower that blew the
Y
whistle and
tenemos un
told them that these
portavoz
were fake jobs.
que
And
dijo
so
que
they
estos eran
corrected that,
trabajos
and now we just
falsos.
had
Ellos
another
lo
whistleblower
corrigieron.
talking about 112,000 jobs off last month. In other words, last month where the numbers were terrible but okay, not like this.
Por ejemplo, el mes
They took
pasado los números eran terribles, pero
112,000
todavía
jobs. So that's almost a
pasaban.
million jobs
Pero
between the two of them.
este mes ha
And even the
sido
$12,000,
mucho
can see
peor.
that that's probably a fake number too. We probably went into negative numbers, which hasn't happened in generations.
Probablemente
So I
estamos en
stand
números
before you today
negativos.
as the only candidate who can
Así
rescue
que
our economy.
me
This
paro
is
delante de ustedes como
a
el único
really bad
candidato que
thing
puedo
that's happened.
rescatarles.
From
Es muy
obliteration
malo lo
and
que ha pasado.
restore to strength, prosperity, and greatness. And you know what I'm going to
Para
do? The
restaurar
first thing I'm
la
like her.
fortaleza, la
They say, well,
transparencia
what are you going to do
de
about
este
the
país.
economy? Well, I grew up in a
¿Qué es lo
glass
primero que voy a
piece of
hacer? ¿Qué
I
es lo
had a
primero que vas a hacer con la
backyard that had
economía? Y él
grass on it.
respondió, yo
Remember the
crecí en un
debate?
lugar con un jardín.
She said, I grew up with grass on my front yard and some
Recuerden
grass on
en
my
el
back.
debate
I'm
que
saying,
ella
what the
dijo,
hell is going on?
yo crecí en un
So I have a
jardín
little
frente a mi
more
casa. Y yo decía, ¿qué es lo que está
faith in this. I'm
pasando?
really good at this shit. So let me just, you know what we're going to do? We're going
¿Saben
to
lo que
drill,
vamos a
baby,
hacer?
drill like you've never seen before.
Vamos a avanzar como
Great
nunca antes.
circle. And for the people in Pennsylvania,
Y para las
we're going
personas
to
en Pensilvania,
but we're going to drill, baby, drill, and we're going to frack in certain areas. We're going to frack like we've never fracked before.
vamos a avanzar y
Because
vamos
we have
a
more energy than
prosperar
any
como
country in the
nunca
world,
lo
including
hemos
Russia. We're lucky
hecho.
in that regard.
Tenemos energía que más
Including
que
Russia
cualquier
and
otro
Saudi Arabia. They
país
have
del
a
mundo,
lot of oil. We have
incluyendo
more than they do. And we're energy
Ucrania
independent 4 years
y
ago.
Rusia.
Think of that. And your price per gallon was, I always went around and said 187. The government corrected me. It was 184 a gallon. Can you imagine? We got
Y
it
vamos a
down,
poner
we
el
got it down
galón.
to $1.84. And now
Pudimos
it's like 350,
tener el galón a
375.
1.84. Ahora ha
Few
subido
months ago, it
demasiado.
was much higher. You know what they did? They went back to my policies because they were getting
Y ellos
crushed.
volvieron a
Go
mis
over $6 or
políticas para
$7.
restaurar el precio del
In
galón.
California, it was $8.50. Gavin Newsom, he does
En
it,
California fue hasta
by the way, she worked
$8.
with him. You know, she worked with him and destroyed California.
Ella trabajó con él y
That's
destruyó a
Kamala we're
California.
talking about. She worked with
Esa
him,
es Kamala,
destroyed
de la que
California
estamos
when she was the
hablando.
DA
Ella
of
trabajó
San
con él, destruyó
Francisco. She
California.
destroyed that city. She's the one responsible
Él destruyó esa
for the
ciudad.
destruction of the
Él es
best
el
city, probably the
responsable
best
por la
city in our
destrucción de esa
country.
ciudad.
And we're not going to let her do that to the
Y no
United
vamos a
States of
permitir que eso
America.
suceda en los Estados Unidos de América.
If my opponent knew how to fix the economy, it would have
En mi
already been
opinión,
fixed. So I say, why didn't she
tenemos
do
que
it? You ever
arreglar
see
la
where
economía.
she stands the other day? We are going to do this and that. I just keep going. Why haven't you done it? Why haven't you done
El
it?
otro día ella
Why haven't you
decía,
done it?
ellos vamos a hacer esto y vamos a hacer
She's
lo
been
otro. Y yo me
she's been
preguntaba a
there
mí
for
mismo,
4
¿por qué no lo has
years,
hecho? ¿Por qué no
almost
lo has
4 years.
hecho? Han
Why
estado ahí
haven't
por
you
4
done it?
años.
Now
¿Por qué
today,
no lo han
she's
hecho en
set
4
some kind
años?
of a scheme. It's a scheme, but it is a scheme that she wants to do something, and she announced
Es
today
un
that,
fraude.
I don't know, something,
Ella anunció
whatever,
algo
doesn't matter.
hoy.
So
No
a lot of
importa.
bullshit. That's all it is. She announced a
Ella
scheme.
anunció
She's going to do
un
something.
fraude.
And when I go to office, when she
Cuando
gets to
yo
office, do it
sea la
tonight, do
presidenta,
it today. You don't wait. She's going to wait. I've got a plan that I'm going to do this or that.
yo voy a
Good.
planear y yo voy a hacer
Do it
esto y
right
esto y
now.
lo
None of
otro.
it's any good. No, she's a total fake. If
Ella es
Kamala
un
and she's
fraude
incompetent, which is perhaps
y ella es
worse.
incompetente.
If Kamala wins, you are
Si
3
ella
days
gana,
away from the start of a 1929 style economic depression.
estamos a
I
3
believe that.
días de
You know,
la
we
Gran
have a lot
Depresión de
of
1929.
great analysts. Scott Bessent is
Tenemos
one, who's one
grandes
of the smartest guys on Wall
analistas.
Street. A real, I call him 182, 184, double her IQ, like double, maybe triple. But they say the
Y
only
ellos dicen,
reason the stock
la
market
única
is doing
razón,
good is because they all think Trump is going to be elected. So I believe that's true.
la única razón por la que estamos avanzando es porque los demás países saben que Trump va a ser
But you have a
elegido.
lot of them. You have this Scott is one of the hottest guys. I hardly know him. I don't know. But he
Yo
writes all
no
the
lo
time.
conozco
He
muy
thinks that
bien, pero él escribe
they
todo el
think that
tiempo,
Trump is going to win, and
este
every time we
analista, y
have a good
dice,
day, you can check out the
Trump
market,
va a
and it seems
ganar
like the market does very
y
nicely.
podemos ver al
If I
mercado.
win, you are 3 days away from the best jobs, the biggest paychecks,
Y si
the
yo
brightest
gano,
economic future.
ustedes están a 3 días, futuro económico, los mejores
Kamala's
salarios,
inflation
la
nightmare.
mejor economía.
I mean, our economy is bad because of the inflation. No matter how well
La
it does, the
economía es mala
inflation
por
just
causa
ripped
de la
it to pieces.
inflación.
We had no inflation. I had no inflation.
Nosotros no
virtually
teníamos
nothing.
inflación.
And now they have much higher than what you see, because when you see it, they don't put some of the higher
Y ahora está
numbers
mucho
in.
más
It's
alta
like
de
the
lo que
crime
ustedes
reports.
están
The
viendo en los
FBI
números, porque
forgot
cuando
to
ellos
put a
ponen
few
los
cities
números,
in there, like
podemos
the
tener
worst cities in the country.
certidumbre de que
So
va a
the
estar
crime
mucho más
report
alta.
looked like it was pretty even. I said, well, how come? I don't want to mention the cities because I'm trying to get their votes. Okay. I don't want to mention. I want to get their
No quiero
votes, but you
mencionar
can imagine
las
that they forgot to
ciudades
put a few
porque
little
quiero
cities
conseguir
in
sus
there, the big
votos.
cities, actually. And they
Son
would turn
ciudades
out to be
grandes.
45% increase in crime. Little difference. A little difference. It's pretty sad when you have to rely on the FBI
Es
and they give
muy
you phony
triste
numbers too, right? Kamala's
cuando no
inflation
puedes
nightmare
confiar
is
en que el
costing
FBI te
typical
dé
American
los
families
buenos números.
$30,000 and higher prices, and now she wants to impose the largest tax hike in American history and raise your taxes by $3,000.
Ahora
This is the
ella quiere
only
aumentar los
person I've ever
impuestos en un
seen
3,000
that's running for
$3,000
office that says we will raise your taxes. You know, all my life I've
Ella
watched
dice,
politicians. And they're
vamos
all
a
saying, we will cut your
subir sus
taxes. We are
impuestos.
going to cut.
Siempre he escuchado a los
Some of
otros
them don't even mean
políticos
it, but
decir,
they say it.
vamos a
This one
cortar
says
sus
we're going to
impuestos.
raise your
Algunos de ellos no realmente
taxes.
quieren hacerlo,
Well,
pero lo dicen.
I
Pero
wanna
ella
give-
dice,
this might be the
voy a
only time I
aumentarlos.
ever give her credit. If that's true, at
Y
least she's
si es
being
verdad,
honest,
por lo menos ella está siendo honesta. ¿Ok?
but I've never heard it before. But at least maybe she's
Yo
being
nunca había
honest. And
escuchado
and if she is
esta
being
propuesta
honest,
de
it works
gobierno.
for you now, because she wants to when you think about it, she's going to raise your taxes. I will
Ella va a
massively cut
aumentar sus
taxes for workers and
impuestos. Yo
small
voy a
businesses. And we
cortar los impuestos para los trabajadores.
And we will have something
Y
that I
nosotros
think
vamos
is
a
just
tener
great. You know, she came out with it right as soon as I said it. A couple of weeks later, she came out when she's making a speech. And she said, and I will have, and she said it quickly because she knew she was going to get hammered. I will have no tax on tips, no tax on tips. She got hammered. But we will
Ella
have
lo dijo
copycat.
en
He
una
said
entrevista,
copycat.
no vamos a
We will
tener
have no tax on tips, no
impuestas
tax on
en las
overtime, and no
propinas,
tax on
pero
Social Security
sabemos que esa es
benefits
nuestra
for the senior.
propuesta, no tener impuestos en las propinas, en las horas extras.
Which of them is the best? Okay, ready? We'll just do this quick. This is a free poll.
Esto va a
As you
ser
know, I
una
pay
encuesta
these
bien
guys a lot of
rápida.
money, these pulses, and I don't even think they send people into the fields first. Let's see, it's
Yo no creo en
51-49.
ellos
Now,
estén
send me a check
mandando
for
a los
300
investigadores de
bucks.
verdad
I
en las
don't think they even
encuestas.
send people into the field. You know what that means. You know, they're supposed to have hundreds of people that go into the field. They make a lot more money
Tenemos
when they don't even
cientos
bother. They say,
de
Trump is
personas
leading 51-49. By the way, I think we
que
are leading.
hacen
You
las
know, we're leading in every
encuestas
poll. But
y a veces dicen, Trump está ganando. Y yo sé que
you're
tienen
going to
razón, sé
prove
que
on
estamos
Tuesday that
ganando,
we're leading by a hell of a lot more than just saying we have to.
pero van a
We
darse
have
cuenta
to.
el
Okay,
martes
ready?
que nosotros estamos
No,
ganando por un
no tax
porciento
on
mucho
tips,
más alto.
right? No
No,
tax, wait.
no
How about
impuestos
no
en las
tax on
propinas,
tips? No tax on overtime, no tax Social Security.
no
Ready?
cero impuestos en la seguridad social.
Face it, number one.
Número uno,
Which is the best of the three? No tax
¿cuál
on
es
tips.
lo mejor de los tres?
Oh, that's not too
Cero
good.
impuestos en las
Do any
propinas.
of you work in restaurants? Or who works in a
¿Alguno de
restaurant?
ustedes trabaja en los
Not too
restaurantes?
many. You get a
¿Quién
lot of
trabaja en
money
un
in this
restaurante?
place. All right, 'cause
Entonces
when I
están
do
haciendo
that
mucho
in
dinero.
Nevada, when I do that in Las
Cuando yo hago
Vegas,
eso en
I
Nevada, en
say
Las
no
Vegas,
tax and tips. I have to stop the speech, leave the podium for 20 minutes.
cuando yo pregunto esto,
blew everything
cero
away.
impuestos en las propinas, yo tengo que irme
No
del
tax on
podio
tips,
porque ellos se emocionan mucho. Les pregunto de nuevo, no, cero impuestos en las
no
propinas,
tax on overtime.
cero impuestos en las horas extras,
All those houses you build, yeah, that's good.
todas esas casas que
No
han
tax
construido.
on Social Security benefits.
Cero impuestos en los beneficios de la seguridad social.
And these guys are going to say Trump has a conflict of interest. He's giving
Y
himself a
puede ser que
tax
estas
break.
personas digan,
I'll kid you, bro,
Trump está
'cause
en un
I'm a
conflicto de
senior kid. I don't
intereses.
feel like a senior.
Yo soy un adulto mayor, no me
Do the
puedo sentir como un
seniors here
adulto
feel like
mayor.
seniors? I feel better.
Los
I
adultos
actually
mayores
feel
aquí se
better than
sienten
I
como
did
adultos
33
mayores.
years ago, I think.
Yo me siento
I
mejor
actually think
que
I'm
como me
sharper.
sentía hace
Now, there'll be a
35
time
años.
when that won't be, but I feel I'm sharp. You have to be
Habrá un
sharp.
tiempo en el que no me sentiré así, pero ahora me siento bien.
These horrible, horrible, dishonest people.
Estas personas
The fake
horribles,
news, I came up with the name.
mentirosas,
I
las
came up with the name fake news.
noticias falsas.
Unfortunately, there's a mistake with the fake news.
Desgraciadamente hay un error con las noticias falsas. No son solo falsas, son corruptas. Voy a expandir el crédito para los
And I will
niños
support a
que
tax
creamos.
credit for family caregivers who take care of their parent or loved one. These are great people.
Y también voy a apoyar a las personas que cuidan de sus seres queridos.
I'll tell you what,
Esas son
these
personas
people,
maravillosas.
if you didn't
Voy a
have
decirles,
caregivers,
estas
these
personas,
family caregivers,
si
you
no
call them
tendríamos, si
angel
no
moms
tuviésemos
and
personas
angel wives,
que cuidan de sus
where a
seres
husband
queridos,
comes back
estos,
from the war or something,
estas
lots of
esposas
problems.
ángeles,
We
estos
didn't have them. You
esposos
know, our
ángeles
hospital system
que
wouldn't
cuidan
be
de
able to
sus familiares que
support
vienen de
them.
las guerras.
You'd have to make it 3 times bigger.
Si
These
no los
people have
tuviéramos,
contributed so much,
las
and
personas no
you know,
podrían
they've never
sobrevivir.
been recognized.
Esas personas han contribuido tanto y no tienen
Tax credits to
lo que
people
necesitan.
that take care of people. No,
Por eso
you'd have the
tendremos
people
ese
in the
crédito
hospitals
para las
instead of
personas que
at
cuidan de
home
los
in a
otros.
bedroom with their family, with their mother or their wife or whatever, and or their husband. And they're unbelievable people. A lot of them aren't, you know, a lot
Son
of them
personas
believe, a lot of them, I
increíbles,
can't take it. They say, I didn't sign
pero
up
son
for this.
personas
I'm
que a
sorry, I
veces
didn't sign
dicen,
up for this. They say
no
that, and
consigo
they leave.
continuar.
And people understand that too. But these people, the people, they're angels.
Pe-
They're incredible angels.
Son
Our
personas que son
hospital system would not
ángeles.
be able to handle it. So I think they deserve it, don't you?
Yo pienso que ellos merecen este beneficio. ¿Ustedes no lo
They don't
creen?
even ask for it. You know, I don't have
Ellos
any big
ni
lobby or
pidieron
anything
este
asking me for it. I
beneficio.
have lobbies asking me for everything, but I have no
Nadie
lobby
me ha
asking me for that.
venido a
This is
pedir
something
esto.
I feel I've always felt it. I've seen
Es
so
algo
many of
que
them, met so
yo
many
siempre he
of them,
sentido.
and they want to just take care of their son or their husband.
Ellos quieren
daughter,
cuidar de
and
sus
they just
hijos,
wanna
de sus
take care of these
esposas,
people. And you could never get
esposos,
that kind of a care in a hospital. As good as the hospital is, as good as the
pero
hospitals are, you
nunca
could
vamos
never
a
get
ser
that kind of
capaces
care. So it's
de
a
tener
beautiful
ese
thing,
tipo
and we're
de
gonna
cuidado en un
do it
hospital. Por eso
immediately. We're gonna get it done
creo que es
immediately to rapidly
un
reduce
beneficio
inflation.
maravilloso.
Thank you, Angel Moms.
Vamos a
Madeline Kamala,
terminar con la inflación.
war on American energy, and we will drill, baby, drill. We're gonna
Vamos
drill
a
stuff.
acabar con la guerra de Kamala en la energía norteamericana.
And I'm gonna tell you that the best thing we
Y voy a
can do, look, we're
decirles
lucky, we have
que lo
oil,
mejor que
gas,
podemos hacer,
we have it in
lo mejor
abundance. I got
que
ANWR
tenemos
approved in
es
Alaska, which
gas,
is the biggest, perhaps the biggest in the
petróleo.
world. It might be as big as Saudi Arabia. It's massive. Reagan tried to do it. He couldn't get it done. Everybody tried. Everybody, what the Democrats
Reagan trató de hacerlo, todo el
but
mundo trató de
everybody
hacerlo.
tried, and every Republican tried, I can tell you that. And they tried
Todo
like hell, and I
presidente
got it
republicano
done.
también
I got
intentó
it.
hacerlo. Y yo lo hice.
And we were ready to drill and go, and this guy
Y
gets
estábamos
in
listos
within
para
the
seguir
first
prosperando y
short
continuar.
period of time. They
Por un corto
terminated it.
periodo de
This
tiempo,
would have
ellos
made
terminaron.
so much money for our country. Would have been so great for Alaska. I love Alaska.
Hubiera
My
sido
father,
tan bueno
my
para nuestro
grandfather spent
país,
a lot of time in Alaska. He was looking for gold.
para Alaska.
And then he realized, well, it's hard to find gold. And he'd see what happened to those people. That was a rough life. That was real cold stuff. So he
Y
built
lo que
these
les pasó a
little
esas personas fue
buildings, and they
horrible.
became little
Él
hotels
dijo,
for
va a ser
guys
tan
looking for
difícil
the gold.
encontrar
So
oro.
we always had a little entrepreneurial spirit. And he
Pero
spent a
nosotros
lot of
siempre
time in
tuvimos,
Alaska doing that. He was looking for gold, and
pasamos
he said,
mucho
I can do
tiempo
better
en
with building
Alaska.
little hotels along the trail, right? And they actually have one. I think it's like a big landmark deal now. It's
Ahora
like,
ellos tienen un
it's
monumento muy
tiny. It's like
importante,
a few
prefirieron
rooms, but
construir
that's
hoteles.
the way it was. It was beautiful, but spent a lot of time. This would have been so great for Alaska.
Hubiera
Would have
sido
been
maravilloso
incredible
para
for
Alaska.
and
Hubiera sido increíble,
unbelievable for our country. We would have taken care of
increíble
Asia
para nuestro
out of
país.
ANWR. And the first thing he did is terminate it.
Hubiéramos
And he
cuidado
also
de Asia.
terminated the Keystone pipeline. But he let Russia build Nord Stream
Pero él
2,
dejó
which
que
is the biggest
Rusia,
pipeline in the world. He let them build Nord Stream 2. Think of that.
él dejó a
And
Rusia
I
construir
terminated that. I said,
el
no, you're not building
el
in Russia.
gasoconducto
You're not
más
building
grande
it.
del
I'm sorry,
mundo.
Vladimir. he would ask me, he goes, "Don't do that." I said, "I got to do it,
Si me
Vladimir.
hubieran
I was gonna
preguntado, yo
supply
hubiera
all of
dicho,
your
no hagas
German
eso.
mostly, but all
Yo
of
le hubiera
yours."
dicho, no lo
And
hagas.
I terminated it. And he comes into office and he
Él viene al
immediately approved
gobierno
it. I said, "What the hell is he
y él
doing that
aprueba.
for?" And
Y
then
yo
they
dije,
said, "Donald Trump was
¿qué él
soft
está
on
haciendo?
Russia." No, that was the
Y ellos
biggest
decían,
project in Russian history. And I
Donald Trump
terminated
se
it.
llevaba bien
And they
con
never got
Rusia.
it finished. And then this guy comes in and he lets it go. I tell you, he's the exact opposite. Think of it. The
Él es,
exact opposite.
este
His
hombre
foreign policy is
es
the
lo
absolute
opuesto,
worst. Every single
es lo
foreign
peor de lo
policy
peor.
movie is made. Look at Israel. Don't do
Miren a
anything.
Israel,
Don't do anything.
no hagan nada,
And
no
at
hagan
least
nada.
now they're in a position where there's some defense, where they can defend themselves from what
Al
might
menos ahora
happen.
están en
You
una
know, we're very
posición que se pueden
close. I'll
defender
tell
a
you
sí
what.
mismos. Estamos
We're
muy
very
cerca.
close to going into a thing
Les voy a
called
decir algo.
World War III. And
Estamos
we
muy
have
cerca de
people
la
that do
Tercera
not
Guerra
have the
Mundial.
mentality to even think about keeping us out. They have no idea.
Y
Again,
tenemos
should have
personas
never
a
happened.
cargo
Russia
que
going
ni
into
siquiera
Ukraine.
tienen la menor idea de cómo
Afghanistan
liderar
would
ese
have never
conflicto.
happened.
Lo que pasó en
Getting
Afganistán
out
conmigo
was
nunca hubiera
right. I was
pasado.
going to get out, but with dignity and strength and keep Bagram, which is the big air base. They gave up Bagram. It was 1 hour
Ellos
away from
se
where
dieron por
China makes
vencido.
its missiles, nuclear missiles. 1
Estaban
hour. That's the way I would have kept it.
a
Not from
una hora
Afghanistan.
de
1
los
hour away.
misiles de China.
And he left Bagram. And you know who occupies it now? China
¿Y
occupies it.
saben quién
China. He
ocupó
gave this
China?
multi-billion dollars, and this is from many years ago, was built.
Y esto
It's
ha
like the biggest
acontecido por
runways in
muchos
the world,
años.
can handle anything. The biggest runways, most powerful, deep, thick concrete runways. To
Más
build them today would
poderosos,
cost billions, tens of billions of dollars. He gave it up like you give up nothing.
los,
I've never seen
los más
always
poderosos
keep
lugares,
Bagram, and
él
now
se
China
rindió a ellos.
occupies Bagram.
Y ahora
1 hour
China
away
los
from where they
ocupó,
make their nuclear
una
weapons.
hora atrás de
It's
donde
so sad
están.
what's happened in this 4
Es muy
years.
triste lo que ha
So sad.
pasado en estos 4
And she's
años.
now running for president. She shouldn't even
Y
be
ahora
running
ella
for
se candidata a la
president. I'll
presidencia.
cut
Ella
your
no
energy
debería
prices in
candidatarse.
half within 12 months because we're going to get it going. And to bring jobs back,
Vamos a
millions and millions
cambiar
of
el
jobs. We
valor de
give
la
our
tarifa
companies the
eléctrica por
lowest
la mitad.
taxes, the lowest energy costs, the lowest regulatory burdens, and free access to the best and biggest
Y
market on the
vamos
planet.
a
but
dar
only for
acceso
those
a
who
nuestra
make their product
compañía,
right
a
here in
nuestras
the
compañías,
USA and hire
acceso
American
libre
workers for the job.
a los mejores mercados del mundo.
We're going to bring your furniture guys back. You know, I
Vamos
love this
a
thing. You
traer
know when I got to
los
know you,
muebles de
Stan?
vuelta.
When I was in this hotel phase of my life,
Cuando
I
yo
looked
estaba
at
en
it, I
este
looked at the
hotel,
hotels, and I'd come to North Carolina because you had the
vine a
greatest craftsmen,
Carolina del
greatest of it,
Norte.
right? And
Ustedes tienen los mejores lugares.
they're mostly gone. Where are they? Oh, they're in China. Not them. They didn't even take them. They end up getting jobs where they don't want to do that. They were the most incredible. I said, could you do something with the arm of that chair? Yes, sir. Ding, 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 ding. They were like artists.
Yo les pregunté, ¿ustedes pueden arreglar esos muebles? Y ellos lo hicieron muy rápido.
But we can do something better. Watch. I said, man. And I'm telling you, you had the greatest craftsmen in the world for furniture. And that business has been obliterated by stupid politicians. They're going to all come back.
Ustedes tienen, yo les decía a estas personas, ustedes tienen el mejor negocios de construcción de inmuebles. Pero sin embargo, fueron vencidos. Esas compañías no hacen productos. Las compañías que no hagan los productos aquí van a tener que pagar una tarifa por el privilegio de compartir con nuestras compañías y nuestros trabajadores. Nuestras compañías van a ser protegidas. Yo nunca me voy a disculpar por defender a los Estados Unidos. Voy a proteger a nuestros trabajadores, nuestras fronteras. Voy a proteger nuestras familias. Nuestras mujeres. Yo voy a proteger a nuestras mujeres. Yo me metí en tantos problemas. Ustedes vieron. Yo creo que las mujeres me aman. Pero ¿saben qué? Los suburbios están siendo atacados. Cuando usted está en su hogar y está solo Y ustedes tienen estas personas que salieron de la prisión con 6 cargos de asesinato a diferentes personas. Yo tenía un grupo muy controversial. Todo lo que yo hago es muy controversial y no me importa. Quiero proteger a nuestros hombres, a nuestros niños. Y estas personas horrorosas decían, Trump se lleva muy bien con los hombres. Yo soy maravilloso con los hombres, pero yo cuido de las mujeres. Y ellos decían, sí. ¿Quién dijo que sí, que yo soy? Sí, ella dijo, sí lo eres, pero te amamos. Yo creo que las mujeres tienen que ser protegidas, los niños también, pero las mujeres tienen que ser protegidas cuando ellas están en su casa. Yo lo dije, vine al escenario y algunas personas me dijeron, ¿quién te crees que eres para decir que vas a proteger a las mujeres? Es un tema controversial. Yo vine y yo dije, ¿hay una multitud como esta? Y yo dije, ¿hay alguna mujer que sería ofendida por el hecho de lo que yo dije, de que voy a protegerte? No. Así que tenía 29,000 personas. Hubo una mujer que dijo, no. Yo dije, Pelosi, eres inteligente. Alguien más dijo, una mujer que transicionó. Pero yo no lo dije. Yo no lo dije. Tenemos que ser muy cuidadosos. Todo lo que decimos, hay mujeres muy hermosas en la audiencia, porque si yo digo, esta, ella, y yo digo que ellas son hermosas, ese es el final de mi carrera política. Si yo llego y digo, hola, eres una mujer hermosa, ese es el final de tu carrera política. Por eso tenemos que elegir un político que en estos 4 años destruya toda esta idiotez. Ellos la escogieron a ella porque querían ser políticamente correcta. Tenían 12 otros candidatos mucho más competentes. No debería haber sido su decisión. Piensa en esto. Este es un momento famoso en la historia de nuestro país. Ellos llegaron y dijeron, estás despedido. Sí, estás despedido. Ellos tomaron su presidencia. Le quitaron el caramelo a un bebé. ¿Cuál es el propósito de las primarias? Porque fue un corto tiempo luego de la nominación. Y si iban a hacer eso, deberían haber tenido otras primarias. Pero para ser políticamente correctos, algo muy malo para nuestro país. No debería quejarme, pero yo me quejo, porque saben lo que dicen. Tú eres una amenaza a la democracia. Ellos siempre dicen, Donald Trump es una amenaza a la democracia. Él ha prometido
and put them in jail. He's terrible.
poner a
He's
toda la
promised to
gente
put them
que
in jail.
se le ha
That's what they're
enfrentado
doing
en
to me.
cárcel. Eso es lo que me han hecho a
Okay.
mí.
That's what they're doing to me.
Eso es lo que me hicieron a mí.
Did you hear these people? This stupid
Ustedes escuchan a
woman.
estas
She's
personas.
saying
Esa mujer
he has
estúpida,
said that he's going to put people in jail.
él dijo que iba a
And
poner a las
he's going to
personas en
go
la
after
cárcel.
this one and that one. I won't mention their names. But he's going to go after them, put them in jail. And I said,
Él va a ir a perseguir todas estas personas y las va a poner en la cárcel. Yo dije, qué estúpido. Pero vamos a ser muy exitosos. Ganamos el gran caso en Florida, ¿verdad?
They're scammers. As we rescue our economy, I will also restore our
Mientras
borders. Again,
rescatamos
I
nuestra
believe the
economía, voy a
borders are the
rescatar nuestras
single
fronteras.
biggest problem that this country's had in
Yo
100
creo
years
que
because
las fronteras
they're
son
disturbing
el problema más
our
grande
country.
que
They're disturbing.
este
What
país ha
they've
tenido en
done
unos
to our
100
country is
años.
not even
En lo que ellos han
thinkable.
hecho a nuestro
Over the
país
past 4 years, Kamala
es
has
impensable.
orchestrated the
En los
most
últimos
egregious
4 años,
betrayal
Kamala
that any
ha
leader
orquestado
in American history has ever
lo peor
inflicted
que
upon our
cualquier
people.
líder
There's never
en los
been
Estados
anything like
Unidos ha
this.
infligido.
Again,
Nunca ha sido como esto.
murderers, drug dealers,
De nuevo,
gang
asesinos,
members, people from mental institutions,
traficantes de drogas,
the
personas de
worst people,
instituciones
criminals of
mentales,
all kinds.
las peores personas, criminales de
Venezuelan
todo tipo.
crime is down 72%. Our
El
crime
crimen
is through the roof. Tell David Muir, he's a
en
real stiff,
Venezuela
real
ha
dick.
bajado en un
Tell David
72%.
Muir that he was wrong when he said, well, American crime is down. Because I said crime is up, it's through the roof. I turned out
Y
to
yo
be
digo,
right the following
contrario a lo que
day.
ellos dicen, el
Tell David
crimen en los
Muir our
Estados
crime
Unidos
is
ha
through the
subido
roof,
mucho.
and the
David
migrants are
Mueller
causing a
dijo,
lot of it. But she's violated her oath of office. She's eradicated our sovereign border and unleashed an army of gangs and criminal migrants from
un
prisons and
ejército
jails,
de
from
criminales,
insane
de bandas
asylums
criminales,
and mental institutions. You
de
know, when I say
instituciones mentales y las
insane
cárceles.
asylums, and then I say Dr. Hannibal Lecter. Does anybody know? They go
¿Alguien
crazy.
conoce
They
a la
say,
doctora Hannibal
oh,
Lecter?
he brings up these names out of, well, that's genius, right? Dr. Hannibal Lecter. There's nobody worse than him.
Y ellos
Silence
siempre
of the
tienen la
lambs. Who the
controversia.
hell
Él
else would
siempre
even
trae estos
remember that? I
tópicos,
have a great
pero es
memory.
un tema
But they
genial.
always hit me. I don't bring it up too much because they have
Ellos
to
siempre
fix
me
it.
golpean con
He
esto.
brought up Hannibal Lecter. What does that have to do with this? What is it?
Él sacó el
Has
tema de Hannibal
anything to
Lecter.
do
¿Qué
with
tiene
it,
que ver
right?
con eso?
That's who we're allowing into our country. And we don't want to
Estas son
allow
las
that into
personas
our
que estamos
country. So
dejando
I've done
pasar a nuestro
something for
país.
you that I haven't done in 20 speeches. I brought up Dr. Hannibal Lecter, and we're
Por
allowing
eso
him in our
traje a
You watch,
Dr. Hannibal
you
Lecter
watch these fake people. They'll say, again, he brought up Hannibal Lecter. It has absolutely
y las
nothing to
personas van a
do.
decir, de nuevo
You
trajo el
know, I do
tema.
the weave, right?
No tiene
Those
nada
are
que hacer.
pages. You bring up Hannibal Lecter. You mention insane asylum. Hannibal
Ustedes
Lecter.
mencionan,
Now, there'll be a time in life where
va a haber
the
un
weave
tiempo en la
won't
vida
finish properly at the bottom. And then we can talk. But right now it's
en que
pure
podremos
genius. Hey,
hablar. Ahora es una
I have an
genialidad.
my uncle
Yo tengo un
John, my
tío,
father's brother.
mi tío John, hermano de mi
41
padre,
years at MIT, longest serving professor, has so many degrees, he didn't know what the hell to do with them
profesor
all.
del MIT por
In the
muchos
most
años.
complicated- I understand a lot of this stuff, you know, I believe in that. Like, I mean, Jack Nicklaus is not going to produce a bad golfer, right? You know, that's the way it works. It's just one of those things. And it's
Es
in the
una de esas
family, and
cosas.
it's whatever,
Es
but
en
we
la
have to save
familia
this country. We better save
y
this
tenemos
country.
que salvar este
And the
país. El mejor,
biggest problem we have,
el
one of
mayor
the biggest
problema que
problems
tenemos,
is them,
uno de los
because if we
mayores
had an
problemas,
honest and honorable press, my job would be so much easier.
es que si tuviésemos
They have forced
unos
so
medios de
many good
comunicación
people
que
out of
fuesen
politics.
honorables, mi
That's
trabajo
the
sería
shame.
mucho
So
más
many great
fácil.
people have been forced because of them. They're bad people, but they're going to get better. They've
Hay
lost a
muchas
lot of
personas
credibility.
malas,
You know, when I first started,
pero ellos
they
han
had a
perdido mucha
92% or
credibilidad.
93% approval rating. Now they have lower than Congress. The fake news has
Ahora
a
ellos tienen
lower
menos
rating
credibilidad
than
que el Congreso.
Congress. How do you get lower than that?
¿Cómo puede ser
But these
capaz de
criminals
tener
come from
menos
Venezuela,
credibilidad que eso? Estos
from the
criminales vienen de
Congo,
Venezuela, el
stealing
Congo,
countless American lives. People are coming from countries you've never
tomando
heard of.
muchas vidas americanas. Muchos de esos países de los cuales ustedes ni siquiera han escuchado. Y quiero que escuchen este testimonio de una mujer, una madre que conocí, cuya vida ha sido completamente destruida por causa de lo que Kamala Harris ha producido.
She said, okay. I told her good night and I love you. I went to bed, not realizing that that was going to be the last time I saw her.
We're best friends. Yeah. We're going to shake it again.
I woke up to notice she wasn't in her bed. I'm in my heart trying not to lose my mind because I don't know where she is. I finally remembered her phone had a location on, and her phone was pinging just 2 minutes down the road, right behind the skate park. I start driving to the direction the phone was being pinged at, and I see a couple cop cars with lights on. I see yellow tape, and immediately my heart drops and sinks to the bottom of my stomach. My daughter's hands and ankles were both bound. She was strangled to death, left with no pants. And I know in my heart, she fought incredibly hard. She was not going down without a fight.
We begin with two men we're learning are charged with capital murder tonight, accused of killing a 12-year-old girl.
Police say these men strangled her before dumping her into that creek. Both men were in the country illegally.
Apprehended, then released by Border Patrol less than 3 weeks before Jocelyn's death. The men accused of killing Jocelyn Nungare are affiliated with the gang known for brutal violence.
Kamala Harris was in charge of immigration in our borders. If we had better border policies and not open borders and not these catch and release policies, I truly believe this all could have been prevented. Under her being vice president of this country, my daughter's life was ripped away from her. She had her entire life ahead of her.
Happy birthday, dear Jocelyn.
My daughter is 6 feet in the ground based off of policies that she allowed to keep. Kamala Harris did have one job, and she not only failed, not me, she failed my daughter, she failed Jocelyn. You know, she was only 12. President Trump reached out, gave me his sincerest condolences as not a former president, but just as a father, someone who cares. I believe Donald Trump needs to be back in office. I can at least know that my next child will be safe in this country.
Thank you very much.
Muchas gracias a
I mean,
todos.
how sad is that? A couple of days old, shot a couple. Everybody that's seen it. I mean, I saw very strong people. I saw some
Son
very
personas
strong
muy
He-Man, very
fuertes.
tough guys crying like hell when
He
they
conocido
saw
mujeres
it.
muy fuertes.
But you have many, many cases like that. And then you have
Tenemos
other forms
muchos,
of
muchos
murder,
casos
too, with
como
guns
esto.
and being run over with cars and
Tenemos
trucks. Many,
muchos
many
casos
forms of
de robo
crime
de
are being
carros.
committed by very
Muchos
dangerous
crímenes
people
que han
that have been
sido
allowed
cometidos
to- I
por
mean, don't forget,
personas
these
muy,
countries
muy
are very smart. I
peligrosas.
know almost all of the heads, they're very smart, they're very streetwise.
Todos
They want
los
to get
líderes
their
de sus
prisoners
países
out.
son
They
muy
won't take
inteligentes.
care. It's expensive, so expensive.
Ellos
They
no
want to get
tienen,
the
no quieren
criminals off the street. They have no
cuidar
place to
de
put
los
them. Now,
criminales y
with the
quieren
open
librarse de
border,
ellos.
as soon as it
Ahora
gets
con
so
la
good,
frontera
meetings in
abierta,
North
yo les
Carolina,
dije,
I said, if they do open border, every country from all
sí,
over the world
yo
is
les
gonna be dropping
dije,
more
si ellos
prisoners
abren las
into
fronteras,
this country. And the
todos los
criminals in the
países del
street.
mundo van a librarse de
That's why
sus
the crimes are
criminales.
down all over the
Por eso
world,
es
they're down.
que el crimen ha bajado
I
en
mean,
los
they come
otros
from
países.
far away. The Congo has a
Ellos
rough,
vienen de lejos.
prison system, a system that makes ours look like it's Trump International Hotel. No, it's a rough system, and they're taking them out
Es
of
un
that
sistema
system. Think of the money they
difícil.
save, not having to take care of
Ellos han
somebody
salido
for
de estos
50 years or
sistemas.
whatever it may be.
Imagínense
And all
no
of the
tener que
countries
cuidar por
are
alguien,
covered,
de
and
alguien
all
por
of the
50
companies are
años.
covered.
Todos estos países,
180 or 181 countries. Can you imagine that? And then you see
190
something
países
like
están enviando sus
what
criminales.
happened
Y
with
ustedes ven
Jocelyn,
un video como
what
este, lo
happened
que
with
pasó con Jocelyn,
Lake and Riley, what happened with
lo que pasó con Lake
so
y
many
Riley,
others,
lo que pasó con
too far
tantas
too
y
many to
tantas.
even discuss. But this was a woman I met when I got the
Pero esto
endorsement
es,
from Border
esta es una
Patrol. That's
mujer
when I met her, and she was
que
such a
yo
nice woman. I
conocí.
said, "So what
Yo la
happened with my
conocí
daughter?"
cuando
I guess
obtuve el
the
apoyo
jail took
de
her
la
out of a
patrulla
room or something. It's not
fronteriza.
unbelievable. So when you
Es
vote
algo
on Tuesday,
increíble.
vote in honor of
Así que cuando
Jocelyn and
voten
Lake and
el
Riley
martes,
and
acuérdense
Rachel Moore
de Jocelyn,
and
de
every
Lake y
American who's
Riley
been stolen from
y
us.
todo
Maybe
norteamericano
you
que ha
vote in
sido
honor of the
injusticiado.
325,000 missing children. Think
Unos
of that.
320,000
Who would even
niños
believe it could be like
que
that?
están perdidos.
325. And they're responsible. Just
Y ellos son
like they pulled the
responsables.
trigger of a gun, they're responsible for that.
Son responsables
The day I
tanto como las
take the oath
personas
of
que
office, the
aprietan el
migrant
gatillo.
invasion ends and the restoration of our
El día
country
que yo
begins.
tome pose, la emigración,
In Ohio,
la
a
crisis de la
small
migración
town of
cambia.
3,000 people has
En
just
Ohio,
been besieged. So you have 3,000 people,
un
and
lugar
it's
de
just been besieged by an influx
3,000
of
personas.
3,000 illegal aliens from a country 6,000 miles away that doesn't speak the language and that nobody ever heard of. And the town
Estamos
is like,
encontrando
what
una
do we do?
población de
And you know,
otros 3,000
Springfield
emigrantes
also in Ohio,
muy cerca que ni siquiera
Springfield
hablan
has
el idioma.
50,000 people, and they dropped 30,000 people into Springfield, Ohio.
Ellos
Now,
dejaron
the
estas
hospitals
personas
are
en
a
Springfield,
disaster, the
Ohio.
schools are a disaster, and on top
Las
of
escuelas son un
everything
desastre,
else,
los hospitales son un
it's a very
desastre.
troubled country that they come from, tough country,
Vienen
tough.
de lugares muy
And-
complicados
But on top of everything, they don't speak the language.
y ellos
And
no
the
hablan el
mayor's a
idioma.
nice man, and he wants to go and help, and he doesn't know what to do.
Y,
And all he's doing
el
is
alcalde
looking
es
for
un buen hombre, quiere
interpreters. Think of
ayudar,
it.
pero no
No,
sabe qué
you
hacer.
have to move them out. You have to move them out. You can't do this to our country. And this is happening
Pero
all
tiene
over
que
the country,
moverlos.
all over.
No podemos
all
hacerle
over
esto a
our
nuestro
country,
país y está
actually, to a
sucediendo
certain extent,
alrededor de todo el
the
país.
world, but the world doesn't let people come in like
Y
we
está
do.
pasando
We let
en
people
todo el
just come
mundo.
in. We're run
Pero
by very
nosotros
stupid
permitimos
people. They're low
que
IQ
las
people,
personas
very low IQ. She
entren.
is.
Estamos
If
siendo
Kamala
liderados
is
por
reelected,
personas muy
every town in
estúpidas,
America will be
con
turned
coeficiente
into a
intelectual muy
squalid,
bajo.
dangerous refugee camp. That's what's happening. The United
Eso es lo
States
que
is
está
now an
pasando. Los
occupied
Estados
country,
Unidos es
but it
un
will
país
soon
ocupado,
be an
pero
occupied
pronto
country no
será
longer.
un país, nunca más será un país ocupado.
On November 5th, 2024, this will
El 5 de
be
noviembre de 2024
Liberation Day in
será el Día de
America.
la
Say it,
Liberación
liberation.
en los Estados Unidos. Será el Día de la
On day
Independencia.
one, I will launch the largest deportation program in American history.
En el primer día voy a lanzar el programa de deportación más grande de los Estados Unidos. Voy a rescatar toda ciudad y todo pueblo que ha sido invadido. No es diferente a una invasión militar. Lo único diferente es que ellos no usan uniforme, pero ellos son mucho más violentos y ambiciosos. Y vamos a poner a estos criminales en la cárcel o expulsarlos de nuestro país.
And to expedite removals of Tren de Aragua and other savage gangs, I will invoke the Alien Enemies Act of 1798 to
Y voy
target
a
and
llamar
dismantle
el
every
acta de
migrant criminal network
1798
that's operating
para expulsar
on
de nuestro
American
país a
soil.
toda banda
Think of
criminal,
how
todo
far back we
criminal
have
que
to go,
pise el territorio
1798. Who
norteamericano.
would think that? Because they ran it tough then, but sometimes you have to run it tough. And if they come back into our country, which they want to try
si
and do,
vuelven
and which
a
they'll
nuestro
probably be
país,
successful in doing, it's an automatic 10 years in jail with no possibility.
van a pasar
of
10
parole.
años automáticamente en prisión sin ninguna
And I
posibilidad
am
de
hereby
salir.
calling for the death penalty for any migrant that kills an
Y
American
estoy
citizen or law enforcement
provocando por
officer.
la pena de muerte para todo emigrante que mate a un ciudadano norteamericano.
I have no choice.
No tengo opción.
And I will immediately ban all sanctuary
voy
cities in the United States of
inmediatamente
America. Sanctuary for criminals.
quitar todos los santuarios de criminales
Despite
en los
all of the
Estados
damage
Unidos.
that Kamala has caused,
A pesar de todo el
she
daño que
spent
Kamala
the
ha
final week
causado,
of her campaign comparing her political opponents to the evil, the most evil,
ella pasó
people,
la última
mass
semana de
murderers,
su campaña
all of us.
comparando
Then
a
Joe
sus
Biden
oponentes
called,
políticos como
and he said that
las
we're
personas
garbage,
más malas
we're
de la
all garbage,
tierra.
remember?
Y Joe Biden salió a escena y dijo que
Remember?
somos basura.
Remember Hillary
¿Recuerdan
remember Hillary
lo que dijo
deplorable,
Hillary?
right? Actually
Dijo
said
que nosotros éramos
they're deplorable and
deplorables.
irredeemable, and I said, oh, she made a terrible
Ella,
mistake. That word irredeemable
ella
to me
dijo,
was worse.
nosotros
Actually,
somos
it was worse than
deplorables
deplorable,
y
but
no tenemos
that one
redención.
didn't get picked up, Tim. That one didn't get picked up. It was deplorable. It was deplorable that got picked
Fue
up.
deplorable lo
And,
que ellos
how did
hicieron
that
con
work
nuestro
out for
país.
Hillary? Not too good. But garbage
Eso
is a
no
hell of a lot
funcionó
worse, I think, than deplorable,
para
right?
Hillary, pero yo creo que basura es una palabra mucho más fuerte.
My response to Joe and Kamala is
Mi
very
respuesta
simple.
a
You
Joe
can't lead
y
America
Kamala
if you don't love Americans, right? Is it?
es muy simple. No puedes liderar
And
los
you can't
Estados
be
Unidos si no amas
president
a los Estados Unidos.
if you
Y no
hate
puedes ser
the American
presidente
people,
si
and
tú
they
odias a los
have to be
norteamericanos.
hating us.
Ellos tienen que estar
Everything Kamala
odiándonos.
says is a lie. Her
Todo lo
entire
que Kamala
campaign
dice
is
es una
one hoax
mentira.
and
Toda su
slander after
campaña
another.
es
But
una
the
mentira
only
tras
way to
otra.
stop the lies is to
Pero
swamp them
la
with
única
your votes.
manera
You got to do that on Tuesday.
de quitar esas mentiras es ir a votar el martes.
Kamala has no vision, no ideas, and no
Kamala no tiene
solution.
visión, no tiene
All she
ideales,
ever
no tiene
talks about
solución.
is Donald
Todo lo que ella dice
Trump.
todo el tiempo, Donald Trump.
Good evening, everyone. Tonight, I will speak about Donald Trump. 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 Trump.
Thank you.
Muchas gracias.
Thank you very much. There are some people who thrive under pressure, and there are some people that crack, and you got to see her. She's not.
Hay
looking
muchas
good.
personas que se
I
destruyen bajo la
watched the news
presión.
conference. It was bad.
Y yo vi su
If
conferencia
Kamala
y fue
can't
mala.
handle an interview with Joe
Si
Rogan,
Kamala
then
no
she can't
puede
handle the
manejar una
presidency,
interview
she
con Joe
certainly
Rogan,
can't handle
entonces no puede manejar la
Putin, the
presidencia.
presidency of China. She will
Ella no
get
puede manejar a
overwhelmed,
Putin, no puede manejar al
meltdown, and
presidente de
millions of
China.
people will die, perhaps. So this is not a charity event.
Si una
This is an election for the
guerra
biggest and toughest
comienza,
job
vamos a perder a
anywhere
millones de
in the
personas.
world.
No
This
es
is
un
the
evento de
toughest job in the
caridad.
world, they say. I think probably is. Do you want to lose your life savings because we put a weak and foolish woman in the White House? No.
Ustedes
Do you want
quieren
to
perder
lose your
los
job and
ahorros
maybe your
que han
house and your pension
mantenido por
because
su
Kamala
vida,
has
quieren
the
perder
economic
sus casas, sus
understanding of a
trabajos,
child? That's what it is.
por-
If you would have heard her
porque
speaking
Kamala
a couple
tiene
of
el
days ago,
entendimiento económico
she
que
had
tiene un
no idea
niño.
what she was, like I tell you,
Ella
these
no tiene
things we're
idea de lo que
doing.
está haciendo.
She has no idea what the hell she's talking about. Would you
Ella no
trust
tiene idea de
Kamala
lo que está
Harris to
hablando.
talk to
Van a
Russia
confiar en
or
Kamala
China
Harris
and talk them
para
out of a war?
lidiar con
Think she'll talk them
Rusia y
out of a
China.
war? I don't. She'll talk them into a war. By the way, you know, she went and dealt with the Russian situation with Ukraine.
Ella
And she was
fue y
solely
lidió con la
responsible. She
situación
went
de
in,
Rusia
they
y
put her
Ucrania.
there 3 days before
Ella estuvo ahí por 3
Putin
días.
invaded. She was
Ella
nearby
estuvo ahí
someplace
3
who had
días
big
antes de que
meetings with
Putin invadiera
Russia.
Ucrania.
They invaded 3 days after the meeting, and that's fact. All fact. I give you only fact because I have all these people. If
Y
it's
eso es un
anything
hecho.
less than fact, for instance, I tell them, I look at them in the eye, and I say that
Yo les
this
digo,
is the greatest political movement in the history of our country. There has never been anything.
estamos teniendo el momento más histórico más importante en la historia de nuestro país. No ha habido nada nunca como
Pat
esto.
Buchanan. A lot of you know Pat Buchanan. He's a great old timer, a good guy too. But he came in second in the New Hampshire primary, right? And it was such a big event that he had a whole like 50-year career, great career as a pundit. He was
Pat
on
Buchanan
television
vino a mí,
because he came in second
fue en
in
segundo,
one primary in
tuvo
New
una carrera de
Hampshire.
unos 50 años
We won 50
y
primaries,
dijo,
and then we went on to win the election, and then we did even
ganamos
better the
50
second
primarias.
time. But we're going to do much better the third time.
Y si
Because
nosotros hicimos mucho
the
mejor,
first time and
muy
the
bien en la
second
elección de
time,
2016,
there was
hicimos
nothing
mucho
like,
mejor en la
look at
elección de
this, this is
2020,
supposed to be a quick little stop
pero
over.
nunca
Let me pay
tuvimos
my respects
la emoción que
to this
tenemos
nice
ahora.
part of North
Voy a
Carolina.
pagar
You
mis
got
respetos, voy a
20,000
honrar
people.
a ustedes, voy a honrarlos a ustedes.
No, this is the greatest political movement. And let me give
Ese
you a
es
little
el movimiento
information.
político más grande.
If we win on Tuesday night, and I do
Si
hope they're
ganamos
going to call
el
it on
martes en la
Tuesday.
noche, y creo que vamos a tener el resultado
You
en
know,
la
you
noche,
spend all that money on machines. For
gastamos todo
8%
ese
of the
dinero
cost, you could have paper ballots and have real security. And
en
one day
las
voting,
máquinas, y
voter
por
ID,
mucho menos precio
identification of the country. In other words,
tendríamos
it would be okay.
mucho
We'd like
mejores
to have
resultados con las boletas de papel.
identification that you're a citizen of the United States of America.
Solo con una
But
identificación
voter
de
ID,
que pruebe que eres un ciudadano de los
How
Estados
about
Unidos.
Gavin Newsom? Did you see what he did? They passed a bill in California where you are not allowed to
Ellos
even
tienen
ask
una
anyone.
ley
Not only
en
don't you have to
California
have
en que
voter ID, you, if you work for the state, if you work for anybody,
si
no matter
trabajas
who
por
you
el
are,
estado, si
you are
trabajas
not
para
allowed
quien
to
sea,
even
no estás
ask
permitido
anybody for voter ID. I don't think we'll pass that in North Carolina.
que
No?
pidan ni siquiera
Fellas, no?
la identidad.
I don't think that you guys are
del
going to get a
votante.
lot of the big shots from North. I have a feeling that won't be before your
Tengo un
legislature
sentimiento.
too soon, right? No, but think of that.
Nuestra legislación va a
May
cambiar
I see your
pronto.
voter ID, please? Arrest him.
Puedo ver su
The only
identidad del
reason they do
votante
that is because
y
they
enseguida
wanna cheat,
esa
you
persona
know,
puede ser
there's no
arrestada.
other reason. They wanna
No hay
cheat,
otra
and
razón.
they do cheat. They
Ellos
cheat like
quieren
hell.
hacer
That's why we
trampa
say too big to rig. Nothing is
y
more
siempre hacen
dangerous than
trampas.
to give
Nada
immense
es más
power to a very weak,
peligroso
incompetent, and low IQ
que
person
dar
like
poder
Kamala. She's a low
a
IQ
una
person.
persona con un coeficiente intelectual tan
can't.
pequeño, tan incompetente. Ella no puede,
I'm not allowed to say that.
no puedo decirlo.
A lot of wisecracks from the peanut gallery over here, Mr. Chairman. A lot of wise guys. You ought to figure these guys out. They could be good speechwriters, actually. At the end of the day, you need to
Al
ask
final
yourself,
del
can
día,
you afford to put
necesitas
someone this
preguntarte a
incompetent
ti
in charge of
mismo,
our country's future?
¿vas a poner a alguien tan
And on top of it
incompetente
all,
a cargo de
Kamala
nuestro país?
says she would not do one thing differently. I would not do one thing differently.
Y ella dijo
From Joe
que
Biden.
no
Now
iba a
think of
hacer
this.
nada
That means
diferente de
she's
lo que hizo
disqualified
Joe Biden.
from running
Eso significa que ella está
for president. Take a
descalificada
look.
para
Would you have
tomar la
done something
presidencia.
differently than President Biden during the past 4 years?
There is not a thing that comes to mind.
I stood there on the tarmac watching you check your watch.
The chaotic and deadly U.S. evacuation from Afghanistan stunned Americans and the world and cost the lives of 13 U.S. soldiers.
Would you have done something differently?
There is not a thing that comes to mind.
More than 13,000 illegal immigrants convicted of murder have been caught at the border and then released into the United States.
An Afghan national is in custody today after being accused of plotting an election day terrorist attack. The suspect entered the U.S. on a special immigrant visa.
Gut-wrenching new details in the murder of Georgia nursing student Laken Riley. The illegal immigrant suspect, who cops say committed the heinous murder, is a Venezuelan national who crossed the unsecured southern border back in 2022.
2 men investigators say are in the country illegally from Venezuela are charged with capital murder in the death of Jocelyn Nungaray.
A fifth illegal immigrant accused of attacking 2 New York City police officers over the weekend showed no remorse or regret.
Would you have done something differently?
There is not a thing that comes to mind.
Only 18% say the economy is in excellent or good condition.
US inflation has hit a new 40-year high, increasing by 9.1% over the financial year.
Authorities saying Train Day Aragua, which has been linked with more than 100 criminal investigations here in the US, has now been found operating its criminal enterprise in apartment complexes.
Were you the last person in the room? Yes.
So if you want to end this disaster, you have to get out
Si
and vote.
quieren
So
terminar
important.
con
Get
este
everybody,
desastre,
get
tenemos que
friends, get your
sacarla.
friends, drag 'em in. You have some people there. They're couch
Ustedes
potatoes,
tienen
get 'em off the
amigos.
couch. We're pleased to be
Las
joined
personas que
today
están en su
by
sofá, sácalos del sofá.
Congressman Dan Bishop, a great guy. Thank you, Dan.
Picho, un hombre maravilloso.
Good. Good luck. How's the race going? Good? Mr.
¿Cómo está
Attorney, right?
yendo todo?
That's good. He's running for Attorney General. He has my complete and total endorsement, by the way.
Él tiene todo mi apoyo.
He's been a great
Él
great
está
congressman. I was there at the
se
beginning. Right?
candidatándose
That first
para
day,
fiscal
it was an interesting
general.
one, but you've been a great congressman. Now he's running for Attorney General.
Usted ha hecho
And
un
I think he'll go
trabajo
pretty much the
maravilloso.
opposite of what we're talking about here, right? Some of these stupid policies. A great
Políticas
gentleman, a friend of
estúpidas
mine. He's been your
son las que ellos
speaker,
están haciendo. Él es
and
un
really
gran
a good
caballero,
speaker. And he's sitting
un
here
gran
knocking
portavoz.
down all the stuff that he's watching. And he says, we're going to do just the opposite. we will do the
Él decía,
opposite
vamos a
of
hacer lo opuesto.
no asking for, right? We don't. Can you imagine a thing like that? If you
¿Pueden
ask
imaginar
for
algo
voter ID,
como eso?
they criminally punish you. So I
Si
think
tú
Tim Moore,
requieres que la
North
persona te
Carolina speaker,
enseñe
I think he's
la
going to-
identidad, puede
I
ser
have a
arrestada.
feeling he's
Es
got a
algo
lot of
idiota.
good notes. You're doing a great job. Thank you, Tim. very
Estás
much.
haciendo un
Appreciate
trabajo
it.
maravilloso. Muchas gracias.
Congressional candidate Pat Harrigan, who's doing very well.
Y el
He's a
candidato
handsome
Pat
dude.
Harrigan, que está haciendo también un
That's not
excelente
good. That guy's
trabajo.
central casting. Dan, we need a couple of guys that look like that, right?
Dan, necesitamos
Good luck. I heard you're
algunos
doing
hombres
really
que
well.
luzcan
Good.
como
Good
ellos.
job.
Ellos
Secretary
están
of
haciendo un trabajo
State,
maravilloso.
candidate Chad
Secretario
Brown.
del Estado, candidato
Thank you,
John
Chad.
Brown.
Good luck.
Gracias, John. Buena suerte.
The RNC chairman, who you know very well. So, I mean, I'm not going to say he has done a great job, but if we don't win, then I'm
Él ha
going to
hecho
call
un
him up. and say,
gran
"You did
trabajo.
that."
Harrison Sherman.
But I think we're going to win. RNC chairman,
Yo creo que
Michael
vamos a
Whatley.
ganar.
He's great.
Michael Wackley también es genial.
Great guy, too.
Hombre
I wanna thank
maravilloso.
Laura also,
Yo
Laura
quiero
Trump. She's
agradecer.
incredible.
Lara también, ella ha sido increíble.
You know where she is? In another part of the state
¿Saben
campaign.
dónde
And she
ella
says, "Stan,
está?
listen, I got
En
a
otra parte del
campaign." I
estado,
said, she'd love to hear it. But
preparando
she's
la
heard it
campaña.
before, and she said, I just want a campaign, but she loves your state and she's great. And we couldn't do better. And the partnership
Ella
of
es
these two people
maravillosa
has
y
been
no podríamos hacerlo sin ella.
North Carolina GOP
North
Chair,
Carolina del
Jason
Norte.
Simmons. And what a job. Are we
Qué
doing
trabajo
good? Are we
maravilloso.
doing good?
¿Cómo estamos
Feel good
haciéndolo?
about Tuesday, right? That's good, Jason.
Estamos
A lot
bien
of-
para el martes, ¿verdad?
A lot of respect, a lot of confidence too.
Mucho respeto,
Somebody
mucha
that's been a
confianza.
friend of mine for a long time, an incredible
Un
attorney
amigo
general
mío,
for a long time, believe it or not. You look at her, she
un
looks so
fiscal
young,
general,
but she's been in Florida
luce
and she
tan
was
joven,
tough and
pero ha estado en
smart, but she was
Florida,
also very fair. Pam
inteligente,
Bondi, thank you
justo.
very much.
Pam Bondi, muchas gracias.
Thank you, Pam. What
Gracias,
a good
Pam.
job she does.
Qué trabajo maravilloso ella hace.
She's very deceptive. You look and you say, I wonder is she tough? Oh, she's tough. She's
Ella
scary
puede
tough, but she's
engañarnos
fair,
porque
right?
puedes
Thank you very
mirarla y
much,
pensar,
Pam. Beautiful, Pam.
ella es débil, pero no, es muy
And one of
fuerte.
the great developers of our country, is a friend
Y
of
uno de
mine,
los
he was very generous with North Carolina. You know, we were the first ones down
desarrolladores
here.
más grandes
And,
de nuestro
I
país,
couldn't
fue
take
muy
my
generoso.
plane because it was
Carolina
really
del Norte.
large for the runway, and he will always be there with his plane. And we flew down, and he's a very successful guy. He wrote a big, fat, beautiful
Un hombre
check. We
muy
gave it to Franklin.
famoso.
How good is Franklin Graham? We gave it to Franklin Graham. And
Franklin
his
Graham.
name is Steve Witkoff, wherever he may be. Steve, one of the
Steve
the
Witkoff,
most successful businessmen in
uno de
the
los
country.
hombres más exitosos de negocios en el país. Un hombre muy generoso.
He was very generous in Butler.
Él fue muy
whenever he sees
generoso.
something, he says, "That's okay. That's what I do it for."
Siempre
I
que
think that's
vemos
why he
algo,
becomes
él dice,
successful. He loves
está
doing
bien,
it. Thank you very
es lo
much.
que
We appreciate
queremos.
it.
Muchas gracias, lo apreciamos.
And we raised about $7 million for your fund, and we put a lot of it into Franklin. We gave it to some of the
Recaudamos alrededor de
best people
7
to do
millones de
this, and
dólares
they've,
y se lo dimos a
I'm very
las
honored to have
mejores
done it,
personas
and I'll tell you what, they're doing an incredible
que
job. The
se
problem is you're
encargan de
not
esto.
getting any
Ellos
help
han
from
hecho un
the
trabajo
federal government
maravilloso.
at all. And
No estamos
you can
recibiendo
do
ninguna
something
ayuda
about
del
that on
gobierno
Tuesday.
federal.
You just remember.
Y ustedes pueden hacer algo sobre eso el
Because they
martes.
say that, they
Porque ellos
say, and I
dijeron que
think they mean this 100%, it's the worst job since Katrina, and it may be worse than Katrina.
ellos
And in all
dijeron
fairness,
es el
as I
peor
said
trabajo
before, they
desde
don't have
Katrina.
a lot of money because they've spent the money on things that I don't
Ellos
think
no
they're
tienen mucho
supposed to be
dinero
spending the money on.
porque ellos
So I
gastan el
just
dinero en
wanna
cosas
let
que
you
no
know, but you
deberían.
have some incredible people working on
Pero
it,
ustedes
and,
tienen personas maravillosas que están trabajando.
I couldn't believe it what I saw. Houses just
Cuando yo
ripped out
estuve
of the
allí,
foundations. The foundations
en
were
el
ripped
lugar del
out. I never
huracán,
saw anything like it.
no pude creer lo que
It's,
estaba
looked
viendo.
like
Las casas fueron
tornado,
arrancadas de
but
sus
much wider.
cimientos.
You know, tornado goes like a knife, right? I've seen it where it
Fue
goes
mucho
right
más fuerte
through
que el
the flies.
tornado.
I went to so many different the
Yo fui a
tragedies. If you're in the way
diferentes
of those suckers,
ciudades
it's over.
con esa tragedia.
And I've seen where tornadoes go straight, and they may
Y
only
yo he
be
visto cómo
15
se
and 20
comportan
yards
los
wide. But if
tornados
you're in that path, it is over
en
no matter
un,
what. Big
en un
trucks,
espectro de
18
15, 20
wheelers, turned
yardas.
upside down and found 100 yards down the road. Nobody's ever seen anything like
Pero
that.
esta vez vimos alrededor de 100
This was
yardas.
a combination. This was water, tremendous water. We've never seen water like that. And
Nunca hemos
the
visto
destruction
nada
was unbelievable,
como
but
esto.
it
La
was very
destrucción fue
wide. It was almost the entire. I mean, it went to the tip of
fue
Florida,
inimaginable.
that didn't get hit the same way, but you people got hit
En,
the hardest probably. And
en Florida no
we're
fue
going to really
tan
help you a lot.
difícil
In
como
just a
aquí,
couple of months, we're going to really help you out a lot. Okay.
pero en un par de meses vamos a ayudarlos a reconstruirse.
I also want to send our prayers to everyone here in North Carolina who's receiving and
Quiero
recovering from Hurricane
también
Helene. That was
enviar
a
mis
brutal
oraciones
thing.
a todas las
Just
personas en
yesterday, it
Carolina
was
del
reported
Norte
that under Kamala,
por causa del
almost
huracán.
50% of phone calls to FEMA for the disaster aid were unanswered. Nobody's answering the calls. They're not there. I'll tell you what, I've been there. I
Ayer
haven't
yo
seen
escuché un
one federal
reporte que
official. I
alrededor del
haven't seen one
50%
FEMA
de las
person.
llamadas que
And
se
I'd
hicieron
asked the
por causa
people
del
that were
huracán no fueron
devastated.
contestados por
And I'll tell you
Kamala.
the most incredible thing. So
Y les voy a decir
I
lo
didn't
más
want to say it.
maravilloso.
You always think
No
it.
quería decirlo.
You don't want to say it. I said, wow, this is going to be devastating for the election, right?
Yo dije, va a ser
But then I
devastador para
said,
las elecciones,
but I don't
pero
care
yo
about
dije,
that right now. I care
no me
about helping the
importa.
people, which I mean,
Lo que me importa es
but-
ayudar a las personas.
but here's the most amazing stat.
Pero esto
And
es
Michael
lo
will
más
tell you,
maravilloso.
I
Y
thought if we
Michael
got
les va a decir,
50% of the vote from North Carolina, it would be great. If we got, which is bad for me because this was largely like a Trump
yo dije, si tenemos
area,
solo el
people that have our
50% de
values,
los votos en Carolina del Norte,
policies,
yo va a ser
et cetera, et
maravilloso.
cetera. This was really, and I would have been happy with 40 or 50%. Nobody had any
Yo hubiera
idea.
estado
Then
felices
it
por el
starts,
40-50%.
voting. And up till today, it's just about
Y
over
hasta
with the
hoy,
early voting. You
que la
broke the
votación
all-time
primaria ya
record
fue
for voting.
realizado.
Can you believe it? How can you
Ya hemos pasado ese número. Es maravilloso.
Right? Now, who would have thought that? I mean, you have
¿Quién hubiera
people with
pensado
no
en eso?
houses, you have people, I mean,
Tenemos
people
personas que
died.
no tienen
People
casas,
don't-
muchas
they were
personas
missing.
murieron,
Missing is bad,
personas
real bad in a case
desaparecidas,
like this with this water like that. But they were missing. Some will never be found.
personas
But who would
desaparecidas que
think
nunca fueron
that you broke
encontradas.
the
Pero ¿quién iba a pensar
all-time record? That means you people are incredible. The heart.
que aún así fueron realizadas las
When I
votaciones?
heard that, I said,
Son
I don't
personas
believe it. I
maravillosas.
don't
Cuando yo
believe it, but it
escuché
is
eso, yo
an
dije, no lo
amazing
creo.
place. I
Es
will
un lugar
get you
maravilloso.
the help that you deserve, but here are the facts on
Voy a darles
Kamala.
la ayuda que ustedes
She's a
necesitan.
radical left Marxist, rated even worse than crazy Bernie
Kamala es
Sanders
una
or
marxista de
Pocahontas.
izquierda,
Pocahontas.
peor que Bernie Sanders.
She destroyed our economy.
Ella
She was
destruyó
an
nuestra
original
economía.
creator of defund the police movement, and anybody who wants to defund the police
Ella fue
for
la
even
creadora
1 week
original
is not
de este
worthy of being
proyecto de
the
quitar los
president
fondos a la
of the
policía.
United States of America. Kamala vowed to abolish ICE. She pledged to confiscate your guns. Would anybody like to give Kamala
Kamala
their gun?
votó para confiscar
Please,
sus armas
please
para no
raise
poder
your hand. We'll
defenderse.
pick it up immediately. So crazy. And endorsed a total ban on, yet a ban on handgun ownership that you've never seen anything like it. And by
Ella
the way, her
prohibió
crime rates were through
el
the
porte
roof.
de
You ever
armas
know-
como nunca
You know
antes.
that Chicago has the strongest gun laws by far in the United States. And look what's happening in Chicago.
Miren lo
She
que ha
even
pasado en
called for
Chicago.
free sex changes for illegal aliens in detention at taxpayer expense. And perhaps most importantly of all, she
Y
lied
tal
about
vez lo más
working at
importante
McDonald's. She
de
never
todo.
worked at McDonald's. She
Ella
never
mintió
worked
sobre
at
trabajar en McDonald's. Ella nunca trabajó allí.
So in conclusion, with your vote
En
this November,
conclusión,
we are going to
van a votar
fire Kamala and we are
este
going
noviembre
to
para
save
despedir a
America.
Kamala y para salvar a los Estados Unidos.
We will cut your taxes, end inflation,
Vamos a
slash
cortar
your
los
prices,
impuestos,
raise your wages,
acabar con la
and bring
inflación
thousands and thousands
y
of
traer
factories
a
back
millares
to
y
America and
millares
back to
de
North Carolina.
fábricas de vuelta a los
And we're
Estados
going to
Unidos, de
bring
vuelta a
those
Carolina
furniture
del Norte.
guys back.
Vamos a traer estos
Some of
hombres
them
de
are a
los
little
muebles de
older now.
vuelta.
Tell them to get ready. They're going to have
Ellos
some good
están más
years
ancianos
left.
ahora,
We
pero
will
tenemos
build
buenas
America.
noticias.
We will buy
Vamos a
American. We will hire
reconstruir a
American.
los
I will
Estados
end
Unidos.
the war in Ukraine, which would have
Vamos a
never
contratar a
happened if
los
I was
Estados
president.
Unidos, a los norteamericanos.
I
Voy a
will
terminar
stop
con
the
la guerra entre
chaos in
Rusia
the
y
Middle East,
Ucrania,
and I will prevent World War III. We're very close
detener
to
el
World
caos
War
en
III.
el
Very,
Oriente
very
Medio
close.
y vamos
We
a
will crush violent crime
detener
and give our police
la
the
Tercera
support,
Guerra Mundial,
protection,
de la cual
resources,
estamos más
and
cerca.
respect that they so dearly
Vamos a
deserve.
darle a nuestros policías, a
We will
nuestros agentes
strengthen and
fronterizos el
modernize our
respeto
military. We
y
will
los fondos
build
que
a missile
necesitan.
defense shield,
Vamos a
the
tener
biggest one
un
anywhere. We're
escudo
going
de
to build it
misiles,
over
el más
our
grande
entire
del
country,
mundo.
and a lot of it's going to be made right here in
Y
North
todo va a ser así.
Carolina.
Mucho de eso va a
Made
ser
in the
hecho
US.
aquí.
It'll be made in the
en
USA.
Carolina del Norte.
We will rebuild our cities, including our
Vamos a
capital in
reconstruir nuestras
Washington,
ciudades,
D.C., making them
incluyendo
safe,
nuestra
clean, and
capital
beautiful
en
again.
Washington, D.C.,
We will teach our
haciéndola
children to love
segura,
our country, to
maravillosa.
honor our history, and to
Vamos a honrar
always
nuestra
respect
historia
our great
y
American
siempre
flag.
respetar nuestra bandera norteamericana.
And we will put in a bill that if you burn our flag or destroy our flag,
Y vamos a
in
poner
any
una ley que
way,
quien
it's
destruya
1
nuestra
year,
bandera
1 year in prison.
va a pasar 1 año en prisión.
Right? They say it's not constitutional. We're going to have to check that.
Ellos dicen que no está en la Constitución. Vamos a tener que chequear eso.
But we are going to do it. We're going to try and get that
Vamos a
done.
tener que
But they do
hacerlo.
say that, and I don't know. I don't know whose definition that is, but I think I do. We will get critical race theory and transgender insanity the hell out of our schools.
Vamos a quitar toda esta disforia de
And
género,
we
todo
will
este
keep
problema
men out of women's
fuera de las
sports.
escuelas y vamos a quitar a los hombres
I will
de los
defend
deportes de mujeres,
religious liberty. I will
de los
restore
deportes
free
de mujeres.
speech, and I will
Voy a
defend the right
defender
to keep and bear arms, your Second
la libre
Amendment.
expresión,
which
la
is
libertad
under-
religiosa.
After years of building up foreign nations, defending foreign borders, and protecting foreign lands,
Después
we
de
are
años
finally
de
going to build up
proteger
our
las
country,
tierras
defend
extranjeras, las
our
fronteras
borders, and
extranjeras.
protect
Ahora es el
our
momento de proteger
citizens.
nuestras fronteras, proteger nuestros ciudadanos,
And we will
proteger nuestro
stop
país.
illegal immigration
Y vamos
once and
a
for
detener
all.
la,
We will not be invaded.
la
We will
inmigración
not
ilegal
be
del pueblo de una
occupied.
vez
We
y
will not
portadas
be
y por todas.
overrun.
No vamos
We
a ser
will not
ocupados.
be conquered.
No vamos
We
a ser
will be a
conquistados.
free and proud nation
Seremos
once again.
un país libre y poderoso y orgulloso de nuevo.
Everyone will prosper. Every family will
Todo el mundo va a
thrive,
prosperar.
and every day will be filled with opportunity and hope.
Y
And the
todo día será
American
lleno de
dream, we're gonna bring back
oportunidades
the American
y el
dream.
sueño americano va a ser restaurado.
But for that to happen, we must defeat
Pero para que
Kamala
eso
Harris and
acontezca,
stop her
tenemos
radical left
que
agenda with a landslide that is
detener
just
a
too
Kamala
big,
Harris
too rigged.
y parar su agenda de izquierda.
So you have to get out. You have to get out and vote. I'll
Tienes
tell
que
you what,
salir.
couple of days, Tuesday, you got to just wake up, and no matter what the hell you're doing, there's nothing that you can do more important. You want to take care
El
of your house,
martes
this is
tienes
more
que
important. We don't own your
levantarte
house
y lo
anymore.
más importante que
You
vas a
gotta-
hacer el
you
martes
gotta get
es
out, you
ir
gotta vote,
a
because
votar.
our country is being
Nada puede impedírtelo
destroyed. Our country,
porque nuestro
our
país está
country
siendo
is under
destruido.
siege from the radical left
Nuestro
lunatics,
país
and we
está
can't let it happen.
bajo
You
asedio.
have to get out. For the
Tienes
past
que
9
salir.
years, we have been fighting against the most sinister and corrupt forces on earth. With your vote this election, you
En
can
los
show them
últimos
once and
9
for all
años
that this
hemos
nation does
luchado
not
contra
belong
la
to
gente más
them.
corrupta en la
This
historia de la
nation
humanidad.
belongs to you.
Esta nación pertenece a ustedes, no a ellos.
It was hardworking patriots like you who built this country, and
A
3
los
days
trabajadores
from now,
patriotas que han
it is
construido este país.
hardworking
Y 3
patriots like
días
you who are going to save our
a partir
country.
de
You're gonna
ahora
save it.
son esos trabajadores patriotas los que van a salvar a nuestro
After
país.
all we have been through together, we stand on the verge of
Después
the
de
4
todo lo que
greatest
hemos
years
pasado
in American
juntos,
history. That's true.
somos el movimiento
This
más
is so
grande
important. This is
en
the
la historia de los
most
Estados
important
Unidos.
election you've ever voted in, and I
Es
really
la
believe
elección
it
más
potentially
importante.
is the most important election we've ever had. With your
Es la
help
elección más
from
importante en la historia de
now
los Estados
until
Unidos.
election day, we
Vamos
will
a ayudar,
restore
nos van a
America's
ayudar
promise,
desde
and we
ahora
will bring back
hasta
the
el día de la
nation that we love.
elección
We're going to bring it back. We're going to bring it back
para
fast.
restaurar la nación
We
que
are one
queremos.
people, one family, and one glorious
Somos
nation.
una persona, una familia, una
We will
gloriosa
never give
nación.
in. We will never give
Nunca
up.
nos vamos a
We will
rendir,
never,
nunca
ever
nos
back
vamos a
down,
rendir,
and we will never,
nunca
ever, ever
retrocederemos
surrender.
y nunca
Together,
nos
we
rendiremos.
will fight,
Juntos
fight,
vamos
fight. We
a
will
luchar,
win,
luchar,
win,
luchar,
win.
ganar,
We will
ganar,
vote,
ganar.
vote, vote.
Votar, votar, votar.
Thank you very much.
Muchas
That's
gracias.
what we have to do. November 5th
Todo lo que
will be
tenemos
the
que
most
hacer.
important day in the
5
history
de
of our
noviembre
country.
será
And
la
together we
historia,
will
el día más
make
importante en la historia de
America
nuestro país. Y
powerful
juntos
again.
vamos a hacer los Estados Unidos grandiosos de nuevo.
We will make America
Nosotros
wealthy
haremos
again.
que los Estados Unidos sean
We will make
poderosos de nuevo,
America healthy again.
saludable.
RFK Jr. is going to be in charge of that. Is that correct?
Vamos a estar a
We'll do
cargo.
it. I said, Bobby, just leave the liquid gold alone. Let me handle that. Just leave me alone with the liquid gold. We're going to pay off
Déjame
so much
tranquilo
debt and
con
lower
el
your tax.
oro líquido.
We will make America strong
Haremos
again.
que Estados Unidos sean fuertes de
We
nuevo
will make America proud again.
y orgullosa de
We will
nuevo.
make America safe again.
Haremos que los Estados Unidos sea un país
And
seguro de
we
nuevo.
will make America
Y nosotros haremos
great
que los Estados
again.
Unidos
Thank you.
sean
Thank you,
grandiosos,
North
maravillosos.
Carolina.
Muchas gracias,
God bless
Carolina
you
del
all.
Norte.
God bless
Dios les
you.
bendiga a todos.
Thank you, fellas. Good luck there.
Gracias, compañeros. Muchas gracias.
En la frontera Trump protegiéndonos, Kamala y Joe solo mintiéndonos. Queremos trabajo, futuro y paz. Con Trump sabemos que él nos dará más. Con Biden de caos viene sin parar. Kamala no sabe ni de gobernar. Queremos a alguien que pueda luchar. Trump es el líder que va a ganar. Trump, apoyo fuerte. Con él firme en la presidencia. Trump siempre fuerte. Es el futuro con su presencia. Latinos unidos en esta elección. Quitamos a Biden de esta nación. Con el presidente que nos da acción. Trump es la mejor opción. Kamala y Joe solo Trump es líder con la solución. Kamala y Joe solo dan confusión. Trump es el líder con la solución. Progreso y fuerza en nuestra dirección. Juntos cambiamos esta nación. Kamala y Joe solo Trump es líder con la solución. Trump, apoyo fuerte. Con el firme en la presidencia. Trump siempre fuerte. Es el futuro con su presencia. Latinos unidos en esta elección. Quitamos a Biden de esta nación. Con el presidente que nos da acción. Trump es la mejor opción. Trump.